Welcome back, everybody, to FTL Fridays. We are picking up with the Osprey, otherwise known as the Federation Cruiser. We had kind of a rough Sector 1. We spent a lot more time in there than we did with some of the other ships. And we also took a fair amount of hull damage, too. Now, I did get 4 free repairs back at one point, and the fact that I'm still 4 down here means that I took a total of 8 hull damage, which is pretty awful. So, we're going to head up the Nebula, because we felt like this ship was doomed to fail. So we're going to go Nebulas and see how those actually go. So Nebulas, basically, they slow the fleet down because they can't track you. But with these storm clouds, you tend to always run out of systems here. They tend to sap and drain your stuff. So we have to watch out for that. We need spare energy for the most part, but you know, we're going to see how it actually goes. So depending on the success or failure of this first nebula will determine if we're going to go into the hostile sector next, or if we will go with 3 consecutive nebulas. So let's jump. We do have a store up here. I'll gladly take it, and then we can work our way out of here. So if we can find fuel in here, nebulas are great because the fleet is a lot slower. You can hit a lot more nodes, but you also, like I said, you run the risk of just bad luck and your systems being shut down. So, no decent weapons. I really don't want a beam weapon. I already have the artillery, so that's not going to help me. And I don't want missiles either. I need another quick weapon is what I need. So, I am going to buy a couple of fuel. I'm going to fix my ship, 1 more fuel, and then we will call it a day. I'm going to keep my hull missile for now. I need something else than what I have, so yeah, let's just tough it out. I'm going to use hull missiles for now, just to use up my missile storage here. I don't really, I don't really have many options here until I get another weapon, so I will see if I can toggle between the two. So let's take out his weapons, and then after this hits or doesn't hit, then maybe I'll switch to the burst laser. By then the artillery beam should be coming up. There goes my shields. I hit his weapons, that's good. I already took 2 hull damage, that is awful. And they stunned me. You can see the importance of getting a second weapon, or at least some other stuff early on in this ship. I managed to get through there, so that's good. Alright, back to 100 scrap. We have the 95, we can get our second layer of shield. If I'm going to keep getting hit by missiles, I don't know that the shield is going to help that at all. So we'll go another node or 2 and see where things go. Rock crew member, let's offer to lead them out. They gave me some stuff, I like that. Alright, so now I got a little bit of extra scrap, so I'm going to do the extra shield. It takes a lot of my scrap away, but I have enough that I can buy a cheap weapon if one comes up. I don't have the scrap to power it, but I at least have it. So let's double check our systems here. We want the shield up. Yeah, we can't even power weapons. This is what sucks about the nebulas, is we lose 5 power just by being here. I have to charge up my engines even too. So definitely not fun. So every battle you get into, you have to take stock of where you're at, just to make sure things are powered appropriately. So beam weapon and ion weapon, I should be able to soak this enough to do burst laser instead. So I should be alright there. Double shield should eat up both of these. I should be good to go. And then just we'll throw some evasion on there as well. We should be able to auto-fire this one to victory, though. Send those guys back to the middle. Ion weapon takes out one shield. Beam doesn't do anything, so now I hit his weapons, and now it's a win. It's a slow win. But it's a win nonetheless. Kind of boring at times. I said if we get the artillery beam powered up all the way, it does feel like it goes more frequently. But like I mentioned in the last video, it is a supplemental weapon. You cannot wait for that thing to be your primary attacker. If you're going through buffing up too much defense early on in favor of powering this artillery beam, you're kind of doing it wrong. Alright, so we can go up from there. So we do have a couple of non-nebulized nodes, so I'm actually going to work my way down instead. The reason being is this one has 5 different areas attached to it, so if any of these are a store, that's actually good. I could maybe get in there and buy a cheap weapon. We'll attack him. He's got it looks like a attack drone. It should be slow enough. He doesn't have a defensive drone. I'm going to use my hull missile instead and try and take out his drone thing. I don't think he'll be able to pierce my shields, so I should be able to win. Actually, yeah, I'm going to take out his shields instead. He doesn't have enough firepower to take me out, so I could just sit and soak this entire thing and basically beef up my skills. I'm just going to keep doing pot shots at his shield. So basically, if I didn't do anything, all these guys are going to get bonuses to their shields. So one of the nice things to do is take anybody else that may eventually need to be in use and just send them into the shield room. Well, that's a little bit slow on there, but you get the idea. If you're going to keep getting free points in shields, definitely use that to your advantage. Alright, so there was no stores attached to any of those, so I'm going to go down here. We'll go, let's see, we have 20 fuel, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That takes us to 14. Yeah, I'll just finish up these last 5 down here and then I'll exit. I don't want to spend too much time in here because all it takes is one encounter. If I don't get more weapons, one encounter is going to be problematic if I lose a ton of my energy. There's the store that I wanted. So I can hit both of these nodes. So I'm going to go to the nebula first and then down to the store. And actually, based on the little loop-de-loop here, I can go here, then here, then here, then here, and then exit. So that's what I'm going to do. Hit up the most possible nodes. And actually, this one's unvisited. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm going to do. Kind of loop around, touch as many nodes as possible. Alright, so this here, oh, double shield is gone. Oh my god. So this would be one instance where we may just win a war of attrition, actually. I'm gonna soak all of his damage and just wait for my artillery beam to do its thing. So I will do 2 of these. The oxygen is gonna go down, and then ultimately I'll boost that back up. But I'm doing double shield so that they can't pierce through there. But this thing here is gonna knock out one of them, and hopefully it comes back up. And actually, I'm going to send everybody into the shield room to see if maybe that helps make it go faster. But I'm hoping the artillery beam hits his weapons in the first salvo. If it doesn't, it's going to suck. And I'm going to need oxygen pretty soon too. So after this first one, didn't do much, but I'm going to replenish oxygen. My shields are holding. just barely enough. So I'm hanging in there, but these are not the ones that you want to run into. These 5 energy loss rooms, especially if you're running into a tough ship. We're lucky we're just going against a drone that just has a little ion weapon. Alright, I can take this off and lower that cooldown a little bit. I think it lowered it, but it may not have. It might just still scaled. Oh, it only hit 2 rooms. What a crock of shit. That's what that was. Then it went horizontal. Why can't it just go diagonally? No, I can't charge it myself or target it myself. But fortunately, we're tough enough where we can soak this damage here. This is why I don't come into Nebulas for the most part. If you require a lot of systems, or you utilize all of your systems, losing 5 energy is pretty rough. And obviously I didn't have 5 energy just laying around. But this here should kill him. That one went diagonally. I don't know why the previous one didn't. Alright, 21 scrap, 3 fuel. I like that. A drone part, which I don't need because I don't have drones yet. We will take 1 here, 1 there, jump to here. Another one of these. He's charging up to get away. He's got ion. So what I am going to do, I'm going to send my burst laser at his engine so he can't get away. And then we will... Evasion's not really going to help us, so I guess we'll put our last 2 in there. We got stuff for evasion, so let's auto fire it up. And we should be fine here. That little laser weapon should only shoot twice. It only shot once. So let me do that. It's delayed, and the next 3 should actually... I'm going to target this room here. That should do straight up hull damage if I hit all 3. Well, that went pretty well. Better than the last one. I'm going to return my guys back to where they belong. And actually, Nathan needs to heal. Lysandra needs to heal. 165. So I'll actually be able to buy stuff at the store. So I'm looking forward to that. It's just a matter of having stuff in the store. Now, we've seen so far that every time I've gotten into stores, there's just absolute shit in there. And so we're looking for something that actually is worth buying. And we've just never really run into that yet. So attack drone, that's not too bad, but he's got missile weapons. So and we're sapped for 5 energy again. So how do we want to do this? We're gonna go missiles on his, and then we will... This really sucks. So he's only got... No, he doesn't only have a missile weapon. I was going to say maybe we could turn off our shields, but this thing will just obliterate us then. So we have 0% evade. I have to at least try some evade. 15% is better than none. But I'm going to be short on oxygen too, so I just don't have a lot of options here. With the missiles, they're going to bypass shields, so I ultimately need to somehow take out his drone and his missile weapon simultaneously, which I just can't. Fortunately, that thing is slow enough where it can't do any damage. And he didn't target any of my systems, so that's good. So I'm going to take out his missile, and hopefully his missile is a lot faster than my missile was. Alright, so I'm going to target his drone part now. And then I saw somebody just went in here, so they're definitely fixing their room there. Do this, do that, turn on oxygen, get a little bit of that back. And actually I don't need shields for the moment, so let's charge up this weapon here. He hit me pretty good there, but I got him. Taking some major hull damage though, I'm not liking that. Nebulas are not good. Not good at all. Alright, so next up is the store, and then back here, and then exit. So let's pray for something worth something. Every time it's been junk so far. Ion charger. It's bad enough that it's ion, then it's the stupid ion charger. It can shoot 3 shots, but ultimately I need something that actually does damage because my burst laser and hull missiles are so damn slow. It doesn't really help there. The bio weapon, or the anti-bio beam, honestly this is a great weapon, but it only hits crew members. So you need to do this to basically kill their crew. But if you miss anybody and don't kill them all, their systems are still going to be running. They're still going to shoot you with their missile weapons. And so this is really only good for supplemental as well. And it's not something that I can even really warrant at this point. Because not in a nebula, because my sensors are down, so I can't even see where they actually are. It would be like shooting blindly. It's just a waste. So just fix my ship. Do 3 more fuel, and then I guess we're pretty much screwed. That's all we can do. So put our shields back up, engine, weapon, and artillery beam. So the only thing that I could do is I could possibly spend some of my stuff, my scrap, on 2 more attack power here so I can use my missiles and my burst laser. That might help me get up through Sector 4. I'm just going to check to make sure there's another store here, which I didn't think there was going to be. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, let's see, 35, 40, 60, and another 50. It's going to be 110. And then we'll leave the last little 60 for another possible store that comes up. So at least now I can have 2 weapons at once. They're both slow as balls, but it's better than, you know, trying to have just 1 weapon and waiting for my artillery beam. So we are on the hunt for more scrap again, and luckily we're at the exit. We can get out of this one. Based on how this one went, I think I'm going to go to the hostile sector next and not do 3 consecutive nebulas. I just didn't like how this one turned out. 2 of them is going to be fine for me, I think, and I didn't even get anything for finishing this sector. So next sector is abandoned versus uncharted. So I'm going abandoned and hostile, and then we'll hit up another nebula here, and then when we get to the back end, I'll just swoop down here and go civilian to wrap up sectors 6 and 7. So really, in the future, if you come across these here, I would personally just go with the hostile. They probably would have given us some weapons and some scrap. We didn't really hit anything in those nodes that made the trip into this nebula very lucrative. So we will pick up on that one the next time. So until then, we'll see you again. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. If you like this video, please show your continued support by hitting that like button, and be sure to check out both my YouTube channels for new content all the time. And always remember, peace is a lie, there's only passion. We'll see you next time.